Is muscle soreness after your workout a good thing or a bad thing? I guess you could say it depends who you ask. If you ask your fellow gym bro who, after every single leg workout, he's always posting memes about how it's such a struggle for him to squat down and sit on the toilet, or how he needs to have a handicap parking pass because it's so challenging for him to get out of the car and just walk to the door there. If you ask him, he lives for muscle soreness, and it's likely become a part of his identity. If he's not sore from a workout, something's wrong. Yet, if you ask one of your buddies who works a physically demanding job, muscle soreness is the last thing he needs. It would be a hindrance to his work performance. And I know for myself personally, the way I used to train legs and chase that kind of muscle soreness, after my leg workout, there was no way later that day I could bring my dog for a walk. Otherwise, my quads would cramp up, especially the teardrops there. It was agony. I mean, there's times, sometimes I was in the middle of the walk, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it home. And later that night, oftentimes I'd be sleeping, my legs would cramp up as well. So that's no fun, pushing yourself that hard to chase that kind of muscle soreness. It takes away from you living your life to the fullest. So there's a few things to consider here, because there's really no right or wrong, as we're going to explore in our conversation here today. Number one is that you don't need to be sore in order to experience muscle growth. And really, we don't understand a lot about the whole process of weight training and experiencing that kind of muscle soreness, whether it's an immediate muscle soreness or most oftentimes it's like 24 or 48 hours afterwards where you experience that delayed onset muscle soreness. We still don't really know everything that's going on behind the scenes, but from what we understand right now, it's likely got very little to do with you breaking down your muscles, tearing down your muscles, and very little to do with the growth process itself. And it's likely got more to do with what's going on neurologically with your body there. So we're still exploring more about that, but I want you to understand that you don't need to be sore in order to build muscle. We'll explore that a little bit more in a moment. The other thing is that, there's some people who rarely get sore, and there's some people who get sore from just 1 to 3 sets. I know when we did a full body workout in the Lose Fat, Get Jacked Inner Circle a few months ago, a lot of members were really surprised at how sore they were from just performing 3 sets for a particular muscle group in a workout. They're like, man, all this time I thought I needed to do 9 to 12 sets for a muscle group in order to experience that muscle soreness, but really it was just all I really needed was 3 sets for that muscle group in order to experience that kind of muscle soreness there. So is 3 enough? I know for myself personally, when I do say cable fly for the chest there, I'm sore the next day, even for close to 48 hours afterwards, just from 3 sets. So is it all I need to build muscle? Just 3 sets for my chest? Maybe, maybe not. Then, like I said, there's other people. I've had lots of clients, especially when I was doing in-person training. I could throw every single exercise for the body part, 3, 4 sets each. They would never be sore. So what do I do? How do I keep pushing them even more in order to experience that kind of muscle soreness? And again, for myself personally, my delts are never ever sore. Sometimes the front delts, especially if I'm combining if it's a push workout where I'm doing chest, shoulders, and triceps, the front delts, the anterior delts might get sore, but my lateral delts are almost never sore. Does that mean that I need to do more? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But if we look at the research, the scientific literature right now, we see that each set that you perform in a workout gets progressively less and less effective. And when you're starting to do more than 6 to 8 sets for a muscle group in a workout, basically what you're gaining from those sets is so minor. So is it worth it to do more and more sets just to chase that soreness if you're actually getting very little out of those sets there? It's something to ponder. It's a question to ask there. The other thing is that sometimes you can get sore just from swapping out an exercise. So again, I know for myself personally, let's say I'm doing split squats this month in my training plan, and next month I decide to swap it out for a reverse lunge. I'm going to be sore. Even if I don't change anything with the weight, it's just the change in exercise, a subtle little change from a split squat to a reverse lunge. My glutes, my quads, my hamstrings, they are definitely going to be sore for days the first time I do that. The second time, not quite as sore. Third and fourth time, I'm usually not as sore. But if I swap it up the 5th week and I do walking lunges instead, sore again. Then switch it back to split squats, sore again. So just the novelty of change. So again, if you look at that experience there, Well, maybe all I have to do is one exercise for a body part and just switch it up every few weeks. You're going to experience that kind of muscle soreness. You're always going to be sore because you're always changing it up, confusing your muscles there. Maybe that's the driver of success there. So there's all of these different things to consider here. And really, when you're looking at the big picture here, relying on muscle soreness as an indicator of how effective your training is, or using it as a gauge for muscle growth, it's really a poor indicator. It's not telling us much about what's going on. What we really need to rely on is the results that we're experiencing. I mean, if you're noticing, like, yeah, the times when I am experiencing muscle soreness, I'm growing. If I'm not experiencing any kind of muscle soreness, those are the times where I just kind of seem to hit a plateau and I'm not experiencing any kind of growth. Well, you pay attention to those kind of things. And if you find that, all right, I'm not experiencing any kind of muscle soreness with a certain amount of volume, maybe it's like 9 sets for a muscle group per workout, and you're cranking up to 12 to 14, you're like, okay, there I got the muscle soreness and I noticed that I made some gains there. This is fantastic. I'm even getting stronger still. Boom, you know that that's effective, but maybe it's going to kind of reach that point of diminishing returns. You're going to need to pull back the volume as well. Those are things to pay attention to. And then you also pay attention to, all right, well, what happens if I spread my training volume out throughout multiple workouts? Like I said, with a full body routine, we're training each muscle group 3, sometimes 4 times per week, with just like 3 sets, sometimes 2 sets for some exercises, some body parts like the arms. You're never sore, and you get to do, you train again like 48 hours later, you don't have any kind of muscle soreness, and you're performing incredibly well. And at the end of the week, you end up doing more total volume than you could have if you were just doing a body part split routine. And again, I think they all serve their purpose. Like in the big picture, this is the beauty of incorporating a variety of training splits throughout the year. So maybe you do chase that muscle soreness for 4 to 8 weeks and you ramp up the volume, even you know that there's the diminishing returns when it comes to the number of sets that you're performing in the workout. Once you get beyond 6 to 8, definitely no more than 10. Like any more than 10, you're really experiencing very minimal gains, but you're like, you know what? I want to experience, just even if it's just the tiniest gains, I'm going to kind of test my limit. So you do like 12 to 14, maybe even 16 sets for a muscle group in a workout. You're annihilated. You can't train it again for another 5 to 7 days there. All right, that's okay to do for 4 to 8 weeks. But then, all right, let's do an upper lower split where you're going to, instead of doing 12 sets in a single workout for a muscle group, you do 2 different workouts where you're spreading it. 6 sets in one workout, 6 sets in another workout. You're like, you know what? I'm just a tiny bit sore, but knowing that I have a couple days to recover here, I'm going to be fine to hit it again in a few days here. That's boom. That's awesome. See how you respond. Not just, all right, maybe you're not just a little bit sore, but maybe you experience some better gains, or you do a full body workout where you're hitting it 3 to 4 times per week with just 2 to 3 sets in each training session. You're never sore, but you find that, holy crap, I'm hitting PRs every workout because I kind of feel fresh. I'm not dealing with that muscle soreness. I'm just feeling stronger. I'm actually growing more in there. And oftentimes you see, like more now than ever before, guys who have been dialing back their training volume, doing less, actually experiencing better progress. They're hitting more personal best in the gym and they're growing more. So it's the results that matter more than anything. It really doesn't matter if I say stop chasing soreness. It's not an indicator of muscle growth or anything like that. Or you should chase soreness, because although it may not be directly related to muscle growth, like it's not, the soreness you're experiencing isn't because of like micro tears or anything like that in the muscle. It's more neurological than anything. So even if that's the case, it's like, well, okay, but the reason I'm sore, I'm only sore when I'm pushing it to this many sets that I'm performing, or when I swap out exercises or something like that. Those are the indicators. So really, you want to have that heightened sense of awareness to when you are sore and what the potential reasons may be for that muscle soreness. Maybe it is just swapping out an exercise this month, and that was the trigger for the muscle soreness. Or reduce your training volume to, again, like spread it out and maybe just do 3 sets for a muscle group in the workout. Are you sore from that? Maybe you will be. You never freaking know until you experience that. You're like, okay, I can get sore just from a few amount of sets here. Roll with that. Maybe next time you just bump it up a little bit more. Okay, now I'm really sore. I'm gonna have to change my split here in order to recover. It's gonna take, rather than 48 hours to recover, it's gonna take 72 hours for me to recover. So you gotta modify your training split to adapt for that. So the other thing to pay attention to is like if you find in order to get sore, you really have to ramp up your training volume, you really got to pay attention to the fatigue factor. So although you may not be sore, it's still a lot of accumulated fatigue like on your joints and on your tendons and on your body. And it can really have an impact on like cortisol levels, how well you're sleeping, and other aspects of your life as well. So really, again, with everything, a heightened sense of awareness is always going to be key. So pay attention to when you're not sore, when you are sore, and when you're not sore, again, if you split it up there, pay attention, like, are you stronger? Do you feel better? Do you feel more recovered? Do you feel more fresh with your workout? So like you're able to give more of yourself, like every single set you're performing, you're able to give your best effort. Like every set counts. Whereas like, when you're doing like, you're on your 12th set of a muscle group in a workout, you're barely going through the motions. Like you can barely even feel the movement going on there. It's tough to maintain that mind-muscle connection. Sometimes you get other supporting muscle groups coming in to help out there. So pay attention to all those factors at once. But again, just the take-home point is that muscle soreness is not an indicator of muscle growth directly. You don't need to be sore in order to experience muscle growth. And again, we all respond different to the training stimulus. Some of us get sore very easily. Some of us, it's a lot more difficult to get sore. And even individually, like I said, like my chest can be sore from just 3 sets. Back takes a lot more. Shoulders are almost never sore. So, well, really never sore, especially the side delts there. So paying attention to all of those factors at once. So it's really, I find it's a fascinating topic to discuss because, like I said, indirectly, there's some things that could be going on there. It's just like, when you are sore, you kind of know, all right, here's the volume that's working for me. But again, always results matter most. So would love to hear your thoughts and insights. Do you chase muscle soreness? Do you chase the stimulus? Do you get sore easily? Is it very difficult for you to experience muscle soreness? And again, does it vary from muscle group to muscle group within yourself? I would love to hear your insights, your thoughts, your perspectives on this topic. Fascinating to say the least.